Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright, check it out. Behind me, I got a 2002 Chevy Impala, and what we're going to do today is show you how to replace the front right hub bearing. That's right, coming up today, right here on Astral Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, the first thing we do, jack the vehicle up. Got me a nice hydraulic jack, and this, guys, is very, very important. Make sure you got you a jack stand. Always use a jack stand. Even though I'm not going to be really up under it, you definitely want that just in case my foot happened to go up under here or something. And as added security, I'm going to leave my hydraulic jack there just in case. Alright, the first thing we do is take off our tire. The tire is going to be held on by 5 lug nuts. These lug nuts are going to be 19 millimeter or 3/4. Preferably 19 millimeter. So I'm using my 19 millimeter deep, 1/2 inch drive with my impact gun. Alright? So let's get these off and pull this tire off, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do, as we did already, you want to turn the wheel all the way to the left so we can get access to the outer tie rod, and we're going to be loosening up this.
What'd you see?
Guys, this right here is called a castle nut because those slots right there is supposed to line up with that hole so you can stick a cotter pin through so this thing do not back off. Somebody put this on, they put the castle nut backwards, so that sucks because this thing can actually start walking off, and the only way this wheel can control where it's going is through this arm right here, the outer control arm right here, outer tie rod. So if this thing comes out, this wheel can go anywhere it wants. That, guys, is a safety hazard. That is dangerous. Oh my goodness, that sucks. So when we put that on, we're going to be turning that up the opposite way.
At least we could have done was stuck a car key back in there.
Yeah, stuck something in there. At least it wouldn't have backed up so much.
Or something.
All right, so let's see what size we got here. Okay, we got a 17 millimeter deep socket. I got a 1/2 inch drive. You can use a 3/8 drive with a ratchet if you want. Go ahead and take that off. And that's what you call a castle nut, because it's supposed to go like that, and then you're supposed to turn it, twist it, tighten it up until those slots line up with the holes, and stick a cotter pin in it. That way it will not spin out. Now the next thing we'll do is get this outer tie rod out of here. No, it will not come out. 2 ways you can do this. One, the first method I don't recommend. It's called a tuning fork. It's a fork that goes in here, and as you hit the fork, the tip of the fork the fork is made like that. So as you hit it in, it knocks this joint out. The problem with that is you're gonna damage that boot, and all the grease comes out, and you're gonna kill the joint. So what we're gonna use is a method called shock and awe. Yeah, buddy. Hit this section right here with your nice size Thor hammer or something, and you hit it hard enough, you're gonna shock that thing so much that that outer joint gonna go and it's gonna pop up out of there. So let's try that and get it done. Get my light off of here. Hit it! And there it is. It's out. The reason why we did that is because now we can freely move this around to get our hub out. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is grab you a 36 millimeter socket, deep impact. You got the center axle nut right here. Put that on there. Now, if you don't have air tools, guys, here's a little trick. Take you a nice size flat screwdriver. Your rotor is vented, so what you want to do is stick a. You see this? You see the vents? You take a screwdriver and you stick it in the vents, but over here. You stick it in the vents, and as you're trying to loosen it, this whole thing is going to turn, but then your caliper bracket is going to stop that screwdriver or a punch, and you'll be able to turn that and knock it right off. So let's get that off of there. Alright, let's set this down and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're gonna do is take off our caliper. Man, yeah. Alright, your caliper, before we do that guys, we want to get you about 18-inch or up to a 2-foot mechanics wire. Or better yet, go inside and grab your coat hanger. Take your wife or husband's clothes, throw them off, and get the hanger. Alright, what you want to do is take this, hook up one end, and twist it to the top. Now let this other end hang right here. The reason being, because when we take this caliper off, you do not want this caliper to hang by its hose or you will mess it up. So we're going to put it up there and tie it up into place. Alright, so next I want you to do, grab you a... What? No, you got to take off the master cylinder. Why he bothering me? You ain't got to take the caliper. Why are you interrupting me? I was on a roll, man. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to say? They're doing some sign language. Alright, check it out. Now you got a 15mm shallow socket, 3/8 drive. And guys, grab your big bill. Alright, so you got the two 15mm bolts right there. Put your big bill on. That one. That one. Alright, let's get these bolts out and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got both bolts out. Take them out. And as you notice, check out, there's difference on these bolts. One is just a regular shaft, and the other one's a shaft with a little grommet boot on the bottom of it, on the end of it. That one goes at the bottom. Just make sure you put that back. All right, take your caliper, wiggle the caliper off, bring it up, get your coat hanger or mechanics wire. Go ahead and tie that up out of the way. That is perfect. All right, the next thing, guys, we got to remove the caliper bracket. Let's see what this caliper bracket is held on by. So it's a 15. Cool. All right, I got a 15mm deep socket. And did he bring my other tools over here? Dang. Oh, there it is. All right, 15mm deep socket, 1/2-inch drive. And I got my little wobble, 1-inch wobble extension. These things are cool. What's a wobble extension? A regular extension, you put the socket on, that's it. No flex at all. A wobble extension, if you notice the head of it, how it's made, it looks like one of the ring pops. And that's exactly what it looks like too. You put the socket on it, and now it can actually swivel and help me out a heck of a lot better. So I'm going to use my little wobble extension, get my 1/2-inch drive, and we got two bolts right here that we got to take out. First thing we'll do is take out the bottom one. And then I'm going to start taking out the top. Dang it, if I can get this thing on. But I'm going to hold my bracket with my other hand. Because once you take those bolts out, that caliper bracket's gonna come right out. Leave your brake pads and everything right in there. Put that down to the side. Take your rotor. Pull it right off. Alright? We'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're ready to take off our hub. The first thing you want to do, you're gonna have your axle shaft right here. Actually, what I want you to do is take your axle shaft, push it in. You don't have to go ahead and try to take the axe out. Just push it in enough that you get a good angle at getting these bolts. Now, if you want to look right in the back of here. Oh, man, that's all you do is just grab. You ain't got to do that. Just grab the camera like this. Bring it around like this. No, it ain't. I'm looking right at it. Okay, you got one. And right up in there, you got number 2. You're blinding me with the light. Give it here. There's number 2, and on the other side is number 3. But we're gonna get these 2 first. Get your butt off the ground, man. All right, and to do this, what you're gonna need is a 13mm or a 1/2-inch socket, 1/2-inch drive. I'm gonna use my 1-inch wobble extension. Now you can use a swivel socket, swivel extension, but they kind of swivel too much and it might bind up. And I'm going to use my 4 1/4-inch 1/2-inch drive extension. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and actually what I'm going to do is start from the top one. Now see, if the axle was in, I wouldn't be able to get to this top one right now. But being that I pushed it out just enough, If I can get my socket on it. I can just barely get onto it right there. All right, take my gun. Dang it. You know what, guys? This is not gonna work. Let me get me a 1 inch, 1.5 inch extension and go in there. All right, should be able to get to it now. Okay, that's one bolt. Go down. Get our second bolt. Okay, then we're gonna turn our spindle and everything all the way to the left. You see the camera? And there's our other bolt right there. Where's it like that? So I can back up and get to. There's our other bolt right there, right next to the axle. Alright, get my setup. Put it in there. And all 3 bolts are out. All 3 bolts are the same length, so you don't have to worry about anything. Alright, the next thing you want to do is just carefully wiggle the hub assembly, just like that. Now, also, some of you guys might have ABS, and what's going to happen is you're going to have a wiring harness going to this. This one does not have ABS, so make sure you unplug the wiring harness that goes to this. And you got this bracket right here, so make sure this bracket stays in place. Take our hub assembly and slowly work it off. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, as you can see, we ran into a problem. Customer got the wrong part. We took all this apart. Dang it. And this one he got has ABS, and the one he has does not. Dang it. So what do we do at a time like this, guys, when you got that job halfway apart like we do? You still gotta charge. It's a tough one. Philly, about what you say, man. I mean, usually as a shop, do we supposed to look at the parts and make sure they're right before we take it apart?
Well, this is we diagnosed it and got the part ourselves.
But should we have looked at the part? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we could have.
So I mean, so there's like a partial blame for it.
No, so I tell you what, being that he's a pretty good customer, what I think we should do, inform him, let him know, let him see. Matter of fact, we ain't got to.
Oh, that's right. I gotta show him.
Just let him see that, and we just don't charge. He's a good customer, so 9 times out of 10, you know he gonna come back to us. So we let him know the truth about it, what he ordered, what he didn't order. Let him know he messed up. Okay, we're not gonna charge you for it. Order your next part, and we go right on. We move on.
Now, see, I don't know, man. My thing is, I think there should be a charge for us ripping this down like this.
It should be. It's supposed to be.
I think that's the fair way of doing this, right, guys? That's the fair way of doing this. We should charge for what we did so far. Now, technically, a shop, if they do this and they got to put it back together, you're getting charged for that wheel bearing. Because whether it's a used one, your same one, we took it apart and we put it back together. So that's the same labor. So, but we, just like you said, try to be fair and all. So I don't know. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, and we're gonna let you know.
You got to lose to win. So therefore, you take a loss on this here. You got your customer that you can have for a while.
But if you get a customer that's gonna buy their own parts, man, you consistently get bad parts, wrong parts. What do? No matter how good the customer is, you still wasting your time at that point.
It's a time to put a stop to it at that time. Yeah. So the first one he got to get by. The next one is on him.
All right, let's get him out here and get this taken care of. We're gonna tell you what we're gonna do. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we let the customer know he's gonna return those and get new ones. Now, Okay, this is what we decided we're gonna do, guys. We let the customer know, and he said, gotta return them. What you gonna do? This is where your patience comes in. What you gotta do now, what we're gonna do now, put this on video. You don't say nothing. At the end of putting this all back together, you see what the customer says. You see if the customer says to me or says to us, all right, what do I owe you? Or do I owe you anything? At least they made that offer. If he makes that offer, I don't know, I might charge him. But more than likely, I won't, because they took that initiative. But if you don't say nothing, then it turns into something else. I ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, what we're gonna do, and all that. Nothing drastic. We ain't gonna leave his wheels off or something like that. But it might be the end, like the last time we work on the car. I don't know. We're gonna let him play it out, and we're gonna let you know how it plays out. All right. So what we're gonna do, ain't no use in. Well, I guess we can videotape it back to going back together, because at least you got the new wheel, new bearing. so we're gonna hook this back on. Let's get this back on up here. And turn this spindle so it's straight. Get the bolt lined up. And I noticed when I took it off, you got a little piece right here that the sensor went to. I noticed that was up this way when I took it off. So it probably can go either way, but I'm gonna put it on. Don't you touch me. Get out of here, man. Mess with me. Alright, put that back up there. Alright, now being that I can get both bolts over this side, push that axle in, get one of the hub bolts. Oh, okay, make me get the wrong bolt. I think that's because we get upset. Start grabbing different bolts and all. Be like, God damn. All right, so we get this bolt, get this lined up, get it in there, and you definitely want to turn it by a couple threads by hand first, so you know you're not going cross-threaded. Great, there we go. Then we go up here, get our upper one in there, get the bracket lined up, get that going in there. Okay, that one started. And what you can do to make sure, get your extension and all that you've been using to take it out. Twist it a little bit more. Okay. Then I'm going to twist it and put the other bolt in. And then we'll get ready to tighten them up. We'll be right back. Alright guys, I put the bolt in. Then I turned it back all the way to the right. I'm going to hold my hub assembly up. Put my socket and all on. Make sure your axle is pushed back. Get my air gun. Tighten up that one. Tighten up this one. And then I'm going to turn it and tighten up the other side. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we got the 3 bolts tightened up. The next thing we're going to do, put your rotor back on. Put it up there. Now, a good little trick is like how the rotor moves around. Grab you, where's the, look, give me 2 of them. How the rotor moves around like this. Take your 2 lug nuts right across from each other. And just bring them in by hand. These ain't going on by hand a little bit, so what I'm gonna do is get my 19mm. I'm not really going to tighten them up, just a little, guys. Just to keep them still. Then you're gonna grab your caliper bracket with your brake pads already on it. Slowly bring it down. Get your two 15mm bolts. Bring it in through the spindle and into the caliper bracket. And again, turn it in by hand by a couple threads. Bottom one. There's the top one. Then grab your 15mm with, dang it, your 1-inch wobble extension. And go ahead and tighten up those two bolts. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing you want to do, take your brake pads, squeeze them into your rotor, so that way you can get your caliper on. Then unhook your caliper. Now, you got to remember, see these boots right here, guys? Make sure you squeeze those boots in. Like, watch this. We're going to put our caliper down, squeeze the boot in, grab our bottom bolt, and the bottom bolt is the one with the little rubber grommet on it. Make sure it lines up, pushes it in, turn it by a couple threads. That's it. The top one, as you're lowering the caliper down, push that boot in, lower it down, get your bolt, put it in by a couple threads, and that's it. What size was these again? Okay, and grab your same 15mm deep socket with your little wobble extension, and you're going to tighten up the two caliper bolts. And let's turn it to the side. Grab our axle nut. This time, make sure your axle is pushed all the way forward. Okay, put the axle nut on. Grab your 36mm socket. Grab your impact gun, and we get that tightened up. We'll be right back. All right, guys, next thing to do, our two lug nuts that we put on right there. You can go ahead and take them off. Take our mechanics wire off from the strut, one of the strut spring. And now the next thing we're going to do, turn our wheel all the way to the left, grab our tie rod, put our tie rod in from the top, down, grab your castle nut. Now you remember, your castle nut was on like this. It has to go down. The top of the castle has to go down. I guess people thought it was a castle nut and face it like that, and they stuck it up there. But anyway, it goes like that. I'm going to put that on there. Turn it on by a couple threads so it's not cross-threaded. Grab your 17mm socket. And you want to tighten this up first. And sometimes what you got to do is take your hand and push down on the outer tie rod just to keep the pressure on that. Yeah, here I go. If I put it on tight, it'll be okay. Dang it. Alright. Here again. And once it tightens up, take it off. And now what I gotta do now is I gotta take a ratchet and a 17mm. God damn, man. What the heck? The 17mm deep 3/8 drive?
Yeah, the whole section down there.
Yeah, the short one. Oh, give it. Now I'm going to take my 3/8 drive, and what I'm going to do is tighten this up until I can get one of the top of the castle, the slots right there, lining up with that hole. You know what? Let me loosen this up a little bit. That's really tight. Okay. That actually, this thing is way up, man. What the heck is going on here? Dang it! You know, guys, maybe that should have had a. Maybe that's supposed to have a washer on it. Nobody put a washer on it because you can see That nut is way up there. You know what? We cannot leave it like that. Dang it. Alright guys, we're going to get a washer and a cotter pin. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we got us a nice washer to go up here. Then put our castle nut up here. Now let's tighten it up. Yeah, okay, now we'll tighten this up.
I thought you went out of business, man.
Alright guys, you had to excuse me, one of our customers, one of our good customers saw us over here. He stopped by to say hi. Introduced me to his son. His son just started working for the Tarboro Fire Department. Alright, so now if you can look down here actually let me tighten this up a little bit more. Alright, you can look down here real close. You can see the part of the castle is lined up perfectly with that hole. Now what you're going to do is take your cotter pin, put the cotter pin in, then the ends out, and that keeps it from turning. Alright, that is it. What we're going to do now is put our tire on, bolt it back up, and that's going to be it. We'll be right back. Alright guys, there you have it. How to replace the... well, yeah, it still could use the video how to replace the hub bearing 2002. It's 2002, right? Chevy Impala. Is it a 2002? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not saying nothing. Alright, here's the results. Finish the job. Customer said, what do I owe you? That shows a good customer. Charge them $25. That's it, $25. He's gonna get the new ones. That's it. That's how you know you got a good customer. That's cool. Yeah, boy, we got another good one. Alright, so if you have any comments or questions, be sure to put them in the comment section below, or you can email me direct to tim@astralautorepairs.com. Guys, girls, this is Timmy and Billy Bob. He's sick as anything today from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. We'll see you next time.